Hey, everybody, welcome back to another Motivation Monday podcast for Monday, August 12th, 2019. Hope you guys have had a great weekend and are ready to get into it this week. This week, I wanted to talk about taking a vacation. As I mentioned last week, I've just been hanging out in the woods for the past week and enjoying some real, honest to goodness downtime. You know, sometimes I do in the summer, I have downtime, but I'm still in the office every day, working really hard, practicing. So it's downtime from like teaching and, playing gigs and stuff like that. But it's not real downtime where I'm just completely unplugged and I give myself an opportunity to kind of take a step back from everything that I do on a day to day basis. And that's what I've experienced this past week. And I got to tell you, the benefits of stepping back from everything are really, really valuable. And this can hold true for anything you guys do, not just music, because I know a lot of you out there, music is not your day to day grind, for lack of a better term. Like, even though I play music for a living, it's a job and it's a grind, and it definitely takes its toll on you for sure. Now, I'm certainly glad that I do this for a living and I wouldn't want to do anything else, but it's just like anything in life. If you make something that you love to do, your job, it's going to have those job-like effects on you, any job. So this has been really fantastic for me. And in years past, I've actually brought my horn with me up to this spot in Maine that I go. And it's been good. It's like I don't mind having the horn with me. But the thing about it is that I try to find like maybe 20 minutes a day to practice or something like that. But it's tough to go from honestly like vacation mode into serious work mode. And lately I haven't been bringing my horn, and it's been really good for me. I think that when you do something every day and you do it very seriously, it's good to take an extended break from that thing, maybe once a year. And this is my once a year where I just say, okay, horn's staying at home. I'm just going to go and I'm going to relax for a week. And I'm not going to think about touching the horn, and I'm not going to think about the things that are getting worse while I'm not touching the horn. I'm just not going to allow myself to think about that. So this past week was a great example, but I did realize that it freed my mind up to think about some other things that are still related to music and my job, but I'm free to think about them in a bit of a different way, right? Like I'm usually in panic mode, making sure that I get enough time on the horn, and that brings my thinking down to a very micro level because I have to think about what I actually have to do on the instrument that day and the things that are right in front of my face. But when I don't have the horn and I'm not under that pressure of like I have to practice this specific thing that I'm trying to get better at, it allows me to think on a much bigger level. And when it's for a week, it really allows me the opportunity to step back and say, ask myself questions like, what direction am I going in with my playing ultimately? Like huge meta level stuff. Like, what do I want to sound like? What am I working toward on the biggest level possible? And those are thoughts that I usually can't get into on a day-to-day basis because, like I said, I'm just like looking a couple of feet in front of me instead of being able to look a couple of miles in front of me. Those thoughts are really helpful once a year. I guess I don't recommend doing it all that often because you'll be like in an existential crisis all the time if you do this. But, a couple times a year, maybe once every couple of months, it is cool to like put down the instrument and think about those bigger topics. I find that to be really helpful. Now, what it also does without having the horn there, it allows me to listen to music without any pressure of like, let me figure that out. And I don't know about you guys, but I constantly do that, where if I like hear something cool, I gotta run and grab the horn or get on the piano and figure out what's going on. But this allowed me to really appreciate listening to music without any of that. And that is like a game changer for me. It gets me back into touch with like just listening for the enjoyment of listening. And I love that. I love getting back to that feeling, just listening to a record just for listening to that record's sake, not to figure anything out, not to get anything out of it, just that enjoyment of listening to music. And that's something that I definitely struggle with in my day-to-day when the horn is within reach, or like I said, the piano is within reach. So these are just some things that I've discovered by like taking a solid week off. And I never do that. Besides this week, I never do it. But, I might try to work it into my routine, like maybe sometime over the winter, so that these week off periods are like, 6 months apart from each other. It's going to be harder in the winter because I don't like get away that time of year. So it's going to be really hard to be home and not pick up the horn. But I think I'm going to try it. I think twice a year would be really good because I do gain so much out of this. So maybe you do that. Maybe you do that for yourself. Maybe even not when it comes to music. Like, can you ever really get away from your work 100% for an entire week? You would be surprised at the new things that you think about, the new angles you look at things, because we're never going to be able to stop thinking about it entirely. That's just crazy. But you will look at things, from a new angle when you're constantly not just running around, getting back to people, thinking about small issues. And you can really reflect on the larger issue of where your energy is going and where you ultimately want to be. Anyways, these are just rantings after being on vacation for a week, but you guys know I like to do this on Mondays, so apologize for the rant. Hopefully it makes you think about maybe something that could benefit you. But back in it now, back in the grind, actually really excited to get back to work on a number of projects that I've been putting my effort into, and just re-energized. So we'll talk to you on Friday. Hope you have a great week. Find some inspiration in something, and hope you're all having a great summer. Talk to you soon. Bye.